about our people till the breaking of the dawn.
Hey, from the Jersey to Jerusalem, Hebrew wisdom in my flow, walking in the footsteps of the ancients, letting spirit grow. 12 tribes scattered abroad, now finding where we belong. Shalom, 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 shalom. From the Jersey to Jerusalem, Hebrew wisdom in my flow, walking in the footsteps of the ancients, letting spirit grow. 12 tribes scattered abroad, now finding where we belong. Shalom, shalom.
Israelites, awaken me, rising up to take our place. Scattered tribes returning home, reconnecting with His grace. Covenant convos with Shay Shay. The marathon continues on, speaking truth about our people till the breaking of the dawn. From the Jersey to Jerusalem, Hebrew wisdom in my flow, walking in the footsteps of the ancients, letting spirit grow.
12 tribes scattered abroad, now finding where we belong. Shalom, 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 shalom.
From the Jersey to Jerusalem, Hebrew wisdom in my flow, walking in the footsteps of the ancients, letting spirit grow. 12 tribes scattered abroad, now finding where we belong. Shalom, 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 shalom. Israelites awakening, rising up to take our place. Scattered tribes returning home, reconnecting with His grace. Covenant convos with Shay Shay. The marathon continues on, speaking truth about our people till the breaking of the dawn. From the Jersey to Jerusalem, Hebrew wisdom in my flow, walking in the footsteps of the ancients, letting spirit grow.
12 tribes scattered abroad, now finding where we belong. Shalom,
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters, and welcome to the Covenant Convo with Shaya. This is your sister Shaya, and I want to welcome you here and just let you know that we are on a magnificent journey into the kingdom of the Most High Yah. Yesterday I wasn't feeling very well, and so I put up a really quick video that covered the creation of man, but it wasn't as thorough as I had wanted it to be because I wasn't feeling it as well. But thanks be to the Most High Yah that gives us the victory. And so we're going to talk about the three-part man. And in this first session, we're going to talk about just the creation, if you will. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to pull up a presentation that I've created for you. And we're going to go slide by slide, breaking down the story of the creation. And the next session we'll pick up at the body. So let's do this. Talim or Psalms or Tahalim Psalms, the 8th chapter, the 3rd through the 6th verses. There's a very intriguing dialogue that takes place here. And it starts and it says, when I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained. What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visited him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet. When we first look at this text, the first verse, you don't know, as a human, you don't know if you're supposed to be offended or not. It's like, what are we, chopped liver? Because they're saying, I consider all the magnificence of your creation, the stars, the moons, all the celestial spirits, and all the terrestrial spirits that you've created. What is man that has you so intrigued? What is man that has your full attention? That this creation that you have made that has become rebellious and does what it wants to do, does not want to align with your purpose and your will for it and for the creation you made it to be. You have all these wonderful spirits that you've created that obey you. The winds obey, the seas obey, the birds and the trees obey. But what about man? The first thing we're going to look at is Genesis, the 2nd chapter and the 7th verse. And we're going to just break this up into pieces so that we can get an in-depth understanding of how our forefathers and our ancestors understood this in the ancient language and in the ancient dialogue. So the first thing we're looking at here, he says, and the Most High Yah formed man from the dust of the ground. Now, to us in English and probably many other languages, that just seems very simplistic. Okay, he formed man from the dust of the ground. But when we look at the Abarim term Yatsar, formed by the hand of Yah. Now, that entails a whole lot. Those of you that are subscribed to the mailing list, you received Abarim pictograph, letter, name, sound, and definition. So I'm not going to spend an enormous amount of time breaking all of these words down. That's kind of what I sent that out for, so that you guys would have that. But this word Yatsar, let's look at the basic meaning of it. You have the Yad, the Tasad, and the Rash. And the simplistic way of understanding this is that man was created to lead, to think, and to reflect the image of his maker. It essentially means that the Most High was intimate and intentional in his design of man. We know he formed man, but let's look at what man was formed of and what he called it. So man was formed from Adama, the earth. The Adama, in the literal sense, the ruddy, life-bearing ground, or the revealing earth, refers specifically to the ground, the soil, or earth from which Adam was formed. Adam. In this context, the scriptural context here, Adam is the man of earth, formed from the Adama, the ground. It's the personal name of the first man and sometimes a collective term for Adamic, or what many of you know as indigenous humans in general. Ish. Ish is the Abarim term for male, and it is the opposite of Isha, which is female. So we see that Adam comes from the root word Adama, just as he was formed from the earth. The dust in Abarim term is afar, elements of the earth. Again, we have the pictographs here for your viewing. And the Yatsar, he created, he formed man. He grabbed up the dust, the elements, the atomic particles of the earth, and constructed a being. It's not random creation. It means man was molded like a pot, fashioned with ruah intentions, and formed from afar. To form by seeing and knowing, speaking forth and leading the shaping process. In other words, the Most High was directly involved in the shaping of man. He didn't leave it up to chance. He was head on. He was the designer, he was the engineer, and he was the architect. Unlike other spirits upon the earth, so you have animals are a spirit. They have a body. They don't have a soul. Water is a spirit. Wind is a spirit. Trees are spirits. Fish, birds, all of these things are spirits. They are terrestrial spirits that the Most High spoke into existence. Now, when he spoke these things into existence, they begin to take shape and form in and of themselves based off of his word. But when it comes to man, he did not want to leave it up to chance. He did not want to leave it up to just an automated formation. So he led the formation process. Why did he create this man? Well, he gave it a purpose. The second part of Genesis, the second chapter and the seventh verse says, and breathed in his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So man was formed from the dust, composed of earthly elements, and then Yah breathed his Ruach spirit into him. This spirit is divine breath. Only after the dust and the spirit were united did man become a living soul. And this order reveals the three-part nature of man. You have the body, the spirit, the soul, or the dust, the breath, and the conscious being. So this is why I say man is a spirit. He lives in a body and he has a soul. So when we see this word spirit in scripture, we can't always think of a celestial spirit. We have to also take into consideration that man himself is a spirit. So there are times when we're looking in the text and this spirit is referring to a physical being, not just an invisible celestial spirit. So why did he create man? So there are four main purposes as to why the Most High created man. The number one, Revelations 4:11 tells us, thou art worthy, O Yah, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. We were created for the pleasure of the Most High. And this concept would mean that which is fenced off and marked by spoken desire, a willed delight, a chosen purpose. So when people say, well, I don't know my purpose, I don't know what I'm here to do, I don't know what my calling is. Well, your purpose is the pleasure of the Most High Yah. In this particular verse, all creation exists because it was Yah's chosen delight and purposeful will to bring it forth. You are not here by accident. You did not come through evolution and just miraculously show up and exist. It is not because your parents decided to have a one night stand and you are the end result. Everybody that ends up on this earth has a purpose. Some are vessels of honor and some are vessels of dishonor, but you have a purpose. Number two, we are to be his ambassadors. We should be conduits through which the intention and desire of the Most High Yah can flow. Genesis 1:26 to 28, it lets us know that, and Yah said, let us make man in our image. Now, this word image, in the basic concept of it, a shadow, pattern, or representation that follows after the guide, a channel through which the greater source flows. So we are supposed to be that instrument that the Most High can flow through with ease and do the things that he wills to be done upon the earth. Image is not physical appearance, it's functional representation. The ability to create, govern, and act as a flowing channel of Yah's authority on earth. Number three, to be his bodily existence upon the earth. Now that sounds a little bit like allowing to be his ambassador, but those are two different roles, and we'll see that here in a moment. Yah said, after our likeness. Likeness is his existence. We are supposed to be his juniors. The concept here is the pathway that flows into a marked resemblance or comparison. Likeness speaks to character, reflection, and resemblance. How Yah sees himself if manifest in earthly form. It's the mental, spiritual, and moral resemblance. This is why unrighteousness is so repulsive to the Most High. This is why certain things are listed as abomination to the Most High, because we are supposed to be representative of him on earth. See, the Most High is too big, too great, too magnificent, too awesome to walk this earth himself. He created it. It is his footstool. His foot is about as much as this earth could handle of his true essence. And so he created this whole entire earth, but he wants to enjoy it. He wants to experience it. And to do that, he needs man so that he could flow through and get that lived in experience. Our ancestors learned a valuable lesson in the wilderness. They didn't want to hear through Moses. They didn't want to hear what the Most High had to say through him. They said, we want to hear the Most High himself. So the Most High began to, what many of us would say, clear his throat. And the earth got the shaking. The mountains got the rumbling. The waters got the swaying. And then the people got in fear and said, no, 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 no. We change our mind. We'll hear from Moses. Moses himself, when he spent time with the Most High and he wanted to see the glory of the Most High, just the passing of the glory of the Most High changed the entire countenance of Moses. And so it's the mental, spiritual, and moral resemblance, not simply outward flesh in that the dark complexion, the woolly hair, but the inward brilliance, wisdom, foresight, righteous judgment, and the capacity to mirror Yah's heart in a physical realm. We are very creative because when the Most High created us, he created us in his likeness, able to do what he does in the overall scope of things, whether it be heavenly or earthly. He created us to be able to be just as creative on this earth. Most inventions that have been made in this world have been made by Adamic people. Many of them by Yasharal, especially in captivity. That creative genius is not by happenstance. That creative genius was built into the customization of man. He made us with the ability to create. He made us with the ability to have foresight of thought and righteous judgment. Number 4, he wants us to rule on the earth the way he rules in the heavenlies. And Yah said, and let them have dominion over all the earth. When man was first created, he was given magnificent responsibility. And with that responsibility comes a lot of burden or accountability. In this particular context, dominion, radah, to be the head that guides the pathway. We're supposed to be leading all of creation into righteousness through our righteous rule. Authority revealed through order and oversight. Having a race to disobedience when your own obedience has been fulfilled. Nature can rebel against man when man is out of divine order. This is why we see animal attacks and different things like that, because man is out of order. Nothing else is going to line up with the order of creation, being man above all things on the earth. Yah granted mankind rulership as the head, opening the path of order to all creation under his breath and authority. Now, why did he create male and female? One would say, okay, he wanted to have a physical being that moved about in the earth and did things the way that he would do these things. But why did he create male and female? Genesis 5:2, male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. Yah formed male and female as a covenant pair, carrying his authority and wisdom in balance to extend life, creation, and righteous rule upon the earth. What I want to impress upon you in this particular point is, by wisdom did the Most High create the things that he created. Wisdom is expressed as the feminine characteristic throughout the Bible. That is the persona that is given to the spirit of wisdom. We see Proverbs 31 focuses on the wisdom of the wise woman. And so wisdom is the part of the Most High that orders or guides in the proper direction and construct of creativity. When he created man with that same subset, that wisdom inside of him. That is where wisdom comes from. It comes from the Most High. And because he made man in the same manner as of himself, just with a physical limitation, he created wisdom in the man, and then he pulled her out of him to stand by his side, because he saw that there was no physical beings that were compatible for man as a mate. He pulled that wisdom character out of man to stand by his side. When we look at the word Zakhar, the concept here is the piercing authority that initiates seed and marks the covenant line. This is why we have a difference between lineages here. There is one lineage that does not descend from Adam, and then there is another lineage that does. Adam is the beginning of all Adamic life. When we look at female here, Nakba, the life continuing vessel, the house revealed to carry seed forward in covenant cycle. Now that's important, because what we're looking at here, let's look at this in the sense of a garden. You can't plant any kind of seed in just any old soil. Some soils will not embrace and cultivate certain types of seeds. Women are designed to receive the seed of lineage. We are to cultivate it for 9 months within our womb, and then we are to yield it in harvest season, and then man is supposed to harvest that sprout forth, In biblical times, it wasn't like it is in modern day, where women have the baby and they have the sole custody authority. They say what's what. They use the court system to help them determine when the father can see the child and what's more important, relationship with the child or financial support. Women have that authority because everything is upside down. But in ancient times, children were, for the lack of a better way of explaining it, the custody and property of the husband. This is why when we look in the book of Yashir, when Ishmael got rid of his first wife because of her disrespect and her lack of nurturing capability, he kept the children. And he got a new wife that came in and helped him raise those children and gave him even more children. So young men have to understand, when you want to plant your seed into someone, first of all, you need to know what kind of soil that is. You need to know if that soil, what kind of history, what kind of lineage does this person come from? What type of family curses or blessings come through her line before you plant a seed there. This is why we want to be married to people before we just start planting seeds in people, because there is a twofold ministry that goes with this seed. You plant it, she once you plant it in her, she's now solely responsible for how that child develops, how that seed develops within her womb. When that child comes forth, she needs to be assured that you're going to be there to help make sure that that child that was birthed from that union grows up in the manner in which it is divinely ordained. Likewise, women, you don't want to let just anybody plant a seed in you, because we know with the way that this world has been destroyed, men can plant a seed in you and just go off. They don't have to be responsible. Even if to be honest, even when you get married to someone, the way that this world operates, a man can still leave his wife with children. So you want to make sure that when you're choosing mates and when you're accepting mates, first of all, you want to be prayerful. You want to have discernment. You want to look at what kind of history these people have. What is their reputation? What kind of family they come from before you start mating with people. Because what are you going to do? You're going to bring forth the house of the head through the strong one. So that child is going to pick up the dominant characteristics of the parents that produce it. And so you want to make sure that you're making responsible decisions. And we do this together. Men have their roles and women have their roles and responsibility. And they're supposed to work together in balance and in harmony, like the Most High and his spirit of wisdom. Why did he bless them? Genesis 5:2 again. And it says, male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day that they were created. That word blessed, barak. The concept here is to extend the open hand of authority upon the house and head, empowering it to prosper, multiply, and stand in covenant. So the creation is bara, and then that would indicate Yah bringing forth. The blessing is barak, and it is Yah sustaining and empowering what he brought forth. So he empowered this creation of this union, man and woman. Empowering, the existence is empowerment to function and multiply. We are able to do the things that we need to do, and we are able to multiply ourselves. We can create life and keep the lineage of Adam going on and on and on. The aberring meaning and scriptural context of this is when Yah blessed them, he placed his hand of empowerment on Adam's house, giving man and woman the ability to prosper, multiply, and continue his covenant on earth. This blessing was Yah's way of authorizing their assignment, equipping them with the strength and ability to carry out his purpose in the earth. Now, what is the value of all of this? What is the value of man? Psalms 8, 5 through 6. For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and has crowned him with glory and honor. Let's look at glory and honor. Glory is kabod. And what kabod means is weight, heaviness, substance, importance. Not shiny light like the church, but the weight of presence, authority, and reputation that presses on you when Yah manifests. When certain people show up, you feel their presence. You feel something different. There is something about them that sets them apart, makes them different. And that's what he did for man. Honor, hadar, majesty, splendor, dignity revealed. To honor, to reveal the greatness, headship of someone through respect and acknowledgement. When Yah crowned man with glory and honor, he elevated them above the rest of his creation as his visible representatives on earth. This crowning established their royal placement, making all earthly creation subject to their authority, of course, under his rule. This honor and glory wasn't earned. It was bestowed out of divine purpose and eternal design. Verse 6, thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet. So man is not just like any other spirit. Man has a responsibility and an accountability that not even the heavenly host have. None of them did he give a whole planet and tell them to be solely responsible to govern in it. He gave that to man. That's a high honor. And we, of course, we have failed him in that. But the goal of this particular study and every study coming forth is to guide us back into that divine order, for us to understand the severity of the creation of our people, to understand the responsibility and the roles that we are to occupy in this earth. Man's biological value. Man was formed from the dust. The dust contains the elements of the earth, these rich elements of the earth. Our bodies carry essential minerals. For example, iron, calcium, magnesium, and zinc, potassium, and traces of gold. Even water, carbon, and oxygen make up the majority of the body. These are all elements found within the earth. Man's body was formed as a living temple built from the richest elements of the earth. Proof that even our physical design carries divine value. These elements are not random. They reveal that our very bodies hold priceless worth, a truth that explains both our strength and why we are targeted. So let me make this picture clear. The Most High is speaking things to existence. He spoke the earth. He told the earth to come up out of the water. He spoke the sea creatures. He spoke into existence the creeping things and the animals. He spoke all the fruits and vegetations and trees. He spoke these things into existence. And his words are spirit and they are life. So the elements that make up these things, as they begin to take shape and to take form, there were particles that would come up off these things, off these different creations, these terrestrial spirits that he was causing to come into existence. He was pulling celestial spirit ideology into a physical form. And the dust from those things is what he grabbed. Because again, when he created these things just with his word, he was not exactly satisfied. He said, it's good. But then when he created man, he said, this is very good, because now I have created something that is like me. Let's understand the elements and minerals in man. These elements that were infused into Adam's creation were passed down in the bloodline Haba Adam, ongoing lineage of Adamic seed. That means you have it, I have it. Any Adamic people that are indigenous to the planet, we have these elements. And by proxy, even other species who do not originate from Adam, because they have in their origin an Adamic mother, they also have traces of these elements. Black Americans show higher bone mineral density and stronger skeletal structure, even with lower vitamin D and calcium intake. Calcium, zinc, and copper have been found in higher amounts in Black American brain vessels than in American heathen lineages. This suggests ancestral efficiency and retention of essential elements, evidence of divine creative design. Man's body was crafted as a vessel of divine chemistry, built from the very elements of the earth itself. These minerals are not only vital to life, they reveal the priceless worth of the Adamic body, a worth the world recognizes even when it seeks to exploit it. Now, I have a short clip that I want to show you about the minerals that are in the earth. Give me just a second. I'm pulling this up for you right now.
Benefits of minerals. Similar to vitamins, minerals are micronutrients that are essential to human health and can be obtained in our diet from different types of food. Minerals are inorganic elements from the earth. Plants extract minerals from the soil they grow in, and we humans obtain minerals directly from eating those plants, as well as indirectly from eating animal foods. We also get minerals from the water we drink. Minerals are classified as either major minerals or trace minerals, depending on the amount needed in the body. Major minerals include sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sulfur. Calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium help in the building and maintenance of healthy bones. Sulfur contributes to the health of skin, tendons, and ligaments. Sodium, potassium, and chloride are important electrolytes that help maintain fluid balance. Sodium and potassium are also important for nervous system function. Trace minerals include iron, copper, zinc, selenium, iodine, chromium, fluoride, manganese, and molybdenum. Iron is required for red blood cell function and therefore oxygen delivery. Copper is important for iron absorption and the production of red blood cells. Zinc is required for healing damaged tissue and supporting a healthy immune system. Selenium and iodine are essential for thyroid function. Selenium is also a powerful antioxidant. Fluoride is protective against tooth decay. While deficiencies are possible with minerals, consuming a varied diet significantly improves an individual's ability to meet their nutrient needs to maintain health and well-being. Thanks for joining this Patient Empowerment Network program. Please remember to ask your healthcare team what may be right for you.
So that was pretty interesting, to say the least. Now we're going to look at an article that also talks about the different
Fall is fast
element
approaching.
concepts.
Sharp end of
Give
season.
me 1 second. Okay, so this article is from Thought Co, and it talks about the elements within the body and how much gold we have in our bodies. How much gold is in the human body? The amount of gold in a single human body, according to the technical treatise, The Elements Third Edition, written by John Emsley and published by the Clarendon Press, Oxford in 1998. The average person's body weighing 70 kilograms would contain a total mass of 0.2 milligrams of gold. The volume of this gold is purified form in its purified form would be 10 nanoliters. If this refined gold were formed into a solid cube of purified gold, the measurement of each side of the cube would be 0.22 millimeters. This trace amount is so tiny that it's imperceptible, yet it's there. Found mostly in our blood. Gold, along with other trace elements, plays a small but essential role in our bodies, contributing to processes like cellular communication and even joint health. The gold in our bodies is not enough to form a visible substance, let alone a piece of jewelry. Yet, its presence is a testament to the fascinating complexity of our biology. How gold compares to other elements in the body. Gold is only one of the many trace elements found in the human body. In fact, we contain many essential elements in vastly greater quantities. Oxygen, vital for respiratory and a primary component of water in the body. Oxygen makes up most of our mass. Carbon, as the building block of all organic molecules, carbon is essential to life itself, comprising our DNA, proteins, and fats. Iron, although relatively small in quantity, iron is crucial for carrying oxygen in the blood. Gold, while its biological purpose is minor, gold is thought to contribute to some joint and nervous system functions. This comparison illustrates how rare gold is within us, especially when placed alongside elements like oxygen and carbon, which are foundational to life. If all humans were, if all human, if I'm sorry, excuse me, if all humans' gold were collected, according to the United Nations, there were around 8 billion people on Earth in 2022. If we collected the 0.2 milligrams of gold within each person, we'd gather around 1,600 kilograms. To put this into perspective, this amount would equate to about 128 standard gold bars, each weighing 12.5 kilograms. Although this might sound significant, this collective amount remains modest in the context of global gold reserves. Even with the entire human population's contribution, it would yield only a small vault of gold. What's the value of all the gold in every human? Based on the current live price of gold, the cumulative value of all the gold in the human population of the planet equates to, and this is in pounds, but it's roughly, let's see here, 171 million, a little more than 171 million dollars. The symbolic and practical value of gold in medicine. Gold's inert and conductive properties make it a particularly valuable in medical applications, where it is used in treatments and technologies that benefit human health. Gold nanoparticles, for instance, are used in certain cancer treatments, helping to target and deliver drugs to specific cells precisely. Additionally, gold-based compounds have been employed in treating rheumatoid arthritis and are being explored in diagnostics and imaging. The presence of gold in the human body, small as it is, reminds us of the element's unique characteristics that benefit us biologically and medically. Finally, why do we have gold in our bodies? While the role of gold in the physiological process of the human body was unknown for many years, it has recently been determined that gold plays a role in both the health and maintenance of the joints and is a key element in transmitting electrical signals throughout the body. Of interesting note, the human body contains 1 gram of silicon. This element is commonly found in the presence of gold in nature, and its metabolic function is currently unknown. So I found that to be an interesting read when we look into the concept of man, coming and being formed from the earth and the things that are maintained. And so I have yet another article that I want to show you as it relates to gold and our bodies. 1 second, pull this up. Now, this is I believe this is a 2025 article. I can't find the date on this one, but let's look at what it says. This comes from Robinson's Jeweler. It says, have you ever wondered if your body contains precious metals like gold? It might sound like something out of a fairy tale, but the truth is the average human body does contain a tiny amount of this lustrous metal. While it won't make you rich, the presence of gold in our bodies is a fascinating topic that blends science, luxury, and a touch of mystery. Let's dive into the glittering details of how much gold is in the human body and what it means. Gold has captivated humanity for centuries, not just for its beauty, but also for its rarity and value. From rings to necklaces, gold jewelry has been a symbol of wealth and status. But did you know that even your body holds a minuscule amount of this precious metal? The average adult human body contains about zero point 0.2 milligrams of gold, distributed throughout various tissues and organs. While this amount is far too small to mine, it's a fun fact that connects us all to the allure of gold. The science behind gold in the human body. Gold enters the human body primarily through dietary sources. Trace amounts of gold can be found in certain foods and water, and once ingested, it circulates in the bloodstream before being distributed to tissues. Unlike iron and calcium, gold has no known biological function. It's simply there, a silent shimmer in the complex chemistry of life. Interestingly, gold nanoparticles are used in some medical applications, such as diagnostic tests and therapies. However, the gold naturally present in our bodies doesn't contribute to these processes. It's a passive passenger, a tiny testament to the metal's pervasive presence in our environment. Gold in jewelry versus gold in the body. While the gold in your body might not be enough to craft a bracelet, it's a reminder of how deeply intertwined gold is with human culture. At Robertson's Jeweler, they celebrate gold in all its forms, from classic yellow gold to modern rose gold. Whether you're looking for a timeless eternity bed or a statement chandelier earrings, gold's versatility shines through. The zero point 0.2 milligrams of gold in your body might not be much, but it's a fun conversation starter. Imagine telling your friends that you're literally worth your weight in gold. Well, almost. Gold has always been more than just a metal. It's a symbol of purity, wealth, and endurance. In jewelry, gold represents love, commitment, and celebration. A gold engagement ring symbolizes eternal love, while a gold pendant can carry personal meaning. Even the tiny amount of gold in your body connects you to this rich legacy. This is more advertisement. At Robinson's Jeweler, we believe every piece of gold jewelry tells a story, whether it's a gold chain passed down through generations of or a cuff bracelet marking a milestone. Gold's timeless appeal is unmatched. Fun facts about gold. Here are a few more glittering tidbits about gold. Gold is so malleable that a single ounce can be stretched into a thread 50 miles long. The world's largest gold nugget, the Welcome Stranger, weighed over 200 pounds when discovered in 1869. Gold is edible. In some cultures, gold leaf is used to decorate gourmet dishes and desserts. While the gold in your body won't make you a millionaire, it's a reminder of the metal's incredible properties and enduring allure. So I found that to be a very interesting read about gold. Now let's look at some additional takes on the elements in the body. There is an article from News Medical Life. And in this article, it is very, very interesting what they have to say about the elements of the body. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Elements that make up the human body. The body is, for all intents and purposes, an extraordinary complex machine. Give me a second. I forgot to add it to the screen. My bad. I'm new to this. Bear with me. See, News Medical Life Science. There we go. What chemical elements are found in the human body? Chemical elements are the building block of life. They make the staggering variety of molecules that are combined to form DNA, cellular organelles, I think that's how you say that, organelles, cells, tissues, and organs. This article will discuss those elements which are present in the human body, the proportion of them, and the various essential functions they play. Elements that make up the human body. The body is, for all intents and purposes, an extraordinarily complex machine. This requires a multitude of parts, all working together in complicated relationships from the micro to molecular level. The structure of the building blocks that make up the sum of these parts, such as proteins and nucleic acids, is determined by the proportion and interaction of chemical elements. Some elements are much more common than others. The human body is approximately 99% comprised of just 6 elements: oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, calcium, and phosphorus. Another 5 elements make up about 0.85% of the remaining mass: sulfur, potassium, sodium, chlorine, and magnesium. All of these 11 elements are essential elements. The remaining 0.15% of the human body is comprised of trace elements. The combined mass of the trace elements does not add up to the mass of magnesium, which is the least common of the non-trace elements. Some of the trace elements may be essential for life based on laboratory evidence. The function of chemical elements in the body. Most chemical elements found in the human body play a vital role. Some trace elements, such as titanium and calcium, may be contaminants. Some such as lead, mercury, arsenic, and cadmium are active toxins depending on the amount present. The function of the essential elements in the human body by order of percentage of mass are as follows. And then they just go into all these different elements and how they affect the body. I'm going to read the conclusion, but this link is included in your pre-live study guides. those of you that are subscribed to the mailing list have this. So I would advise you to go and read this whole article. It's really, really interesting. There's some interesting additional articles that they have on this website and videos that you can watch as well. But the conclusion here is the main source of all these elements is diet. Some of the elements are more essential than others, and they are found in a staggering array of compounds and molecules in the human body. Some can even cause active harm to the body, and the levels at which they are present in the body can determine how harmful the effects are. The proportions of chemical elements vary from person to person, depending on a wide variety of factors, but as a rule, they are mostly uniform across the species. So that I found to be, just kind of goes along with what we're looking at here in the scripture, in that the Most High, when he decided to make man, he used the elements of the earth, and those elements are still found in man to this very day. You have more of these elements the more Adamic you are, and you have more of these elements by your diet and how you treat the body that the Most High blessed you with. Let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation. Let's look at melanin. Now, I'm not going to spend an enormous amount of time. We're almost done with this presentation. But I just want to touch on an aspect of melanin that I've never really heard anybody else teach. And that's probably because many, even in the house of Yasharal, have more of a Eurocentric, Romanized, Christianized biblical understanding. They claim to be in the truth, but their doctrine lines up a whole lot with Christianity, to the whole everybody could be grafted in. We're supposed to just involve ourselves with everybody. People who are not even Adamic are supposed to be Yasharal. But let's look at what the Bible says about the Most High's signature. Melanin, signature of the Most High Yah. What is man made of? Ezekiel 9:4. Yah's mark. And Yah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we see that there is something going on in Jerusalem during Ezekiel's days. That this is the same Ezekiel that saw the dry bones in the valley. And the Most High tells the angels to go through and mark, or tells Ezekiel to go through and mark all of the people in Jerusalem that sigh and cry for the abominations. Not those that try to make excuses and try to cut corners and try to condone or bend towards these politically correct ideologies. They are actually burdened by the sins of the nation. They are burdened by the level of corruption that has taken place within Yasharal society. Yah's mark is a distinction and protection for his children. Melanin reflects this as a visible covenant signature in Adamic design. What others see as ordinary pigment is in truth a seal of separation and divine value. Numbers 6:24-26. Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Now, we all have heard and read the description of the Most High and his Son. Now, if he causes his face to shine upon you, and his countenance to be lifted up on you, that means you should have a similar look about you. And if you don't have that similar look about you, chances are you are not one of his. And I'm not even talking in the sense of Yasharal. I'm talking about in the sense of creation. He did not create you. You were created by what he created. To say that the Most High created certain beings is to say the Most High created a computer. The Most High created a TV. He created a refrigerator. He did not create those things. He created the spirits that created these things because he gave us the ability to create. And so man is responsible for a whole lot of things that the Most High had absolutely nothing to do with. Yah's shining face is favor, life, and covering, protection. The sun, his natural light, reflects this blessing in creation. Now, there's a lot of people that say we are the children of the sun. Well, I don't subscribe to that ideology. The sun is nothing more than another part of another spirit that the Most High created, and it does what it's supposed to do. It comes out when it's supposed to come out, and it goes back in when it goes back in. It doesn't go beyond its boundary, the boundary that the Most High set. I am not a child of the sun because I don't see anywhere in the scripture where the Most High told the sun to be fruitful and multiply. He did not do that. He only told man to be fruitful and multiply. So if I am a child of anything, I'm a child of the Most High, and I'm a child of the Adamic man and woman that he created. For Adamic people, sunlight is not destruction, but activation. It strengthens bones, builds immunity, energizes melanin, and multiplies life within the body. Yah's mark upon his people and his shining face both point to the same truth. The Adamic body was designed to carry his signature and to turn his light into life. Hallelujah for the melanin in our bodies. Melanin is such a valuable thing that those that almost have zero have placed a monetary value on it. Second Peter, the second chapter and the third verse, the first part of that verse, he says, and through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you. They have turned melanin into a commodity. Now, all living elements have melanin, but none of them have the level of melanin concentration that man has. Look at this chart here. This is from last year. From 2024 to 2034, they expect the value. Now, this is on the market melanin. This is on the market melanin. They expect that the value of melanin will go from $152 a gram to $300 a gram. Now, melanin sells for a whole lot more on the black market. Now, could that explain why a lot of our people go missing? They have found ways to liquefy melanin and turn it into things that they can drink and eat to try to increase their life value and to extend their life value rather, and to increase the quality of their physical being as they live out that increased life value. We have been a targeted people. And one of those reasons is not simply because of the physical makeup of who we are, but even though that is a very big part of it, our biological makeup being more in tune with the creative man makes our organs and our skin and everything, our hair, all those aspects of who we are, it sets us apart from the rest of creation. Melanin is the universal life marker placed by Yah, found in all living elements of creation, from the chlorophyll in plants to the ink of animals to the skin of Adamic man. If it's Yah's signature and it's in all living things, then Adamic people who carry it in its highest concentration hold immeasurable value. That truth explains why our bodies, organs, and melanin are targeted and coveted. Adamic people are hunted not just for who we are spiritually, but for what we carry physically. From the unmatched strength of our organs to the fertility of our seed and the power of our melanin. This is why we stand as the most targeted and endangered people on earth today. The invisible script upon our bodies makes our flesh prized, our presence dangerous, and our lives vulnerable. Think about that for a moment. That says a lot. That says a whole lot. At least to me, it does. We don't even understand how important we are, how valuable. And it just brings back the scripture where Hamashiach said, I know thy poverty and thy affliction, but thou art rich. We're rich even just from a biological perspective. We may not have a dollar in our pocket, but we are rich from the biological makeup and the spiritual makeup that the Most High created us to have and to be. Now let's look at the proof and evidence of our value. Nearly 40% of missing persons in the US are Black, despite being only roughly 14% of the population. So they say. I don't necessarily know if that's true or not. These people lie as soon as they open their mouths. Over 36% of missing women and girls are Black, far beyond their share of the population. Hate crimes. First, before I even go there, I want to show you a small clip. Since we talked about the women, I want to show you a small clip. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm just going to show it to you. Give me 1 second. One second. Some of you may have seen this video before, but nevertheless, I think it's very fitting to place it here. Listen to this intently and what these heathens are up to.
Peter and I are investing in it's called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go and take it out. Pink Floyd? Huh? The Pink Floyd? Yeah, and this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy Black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg. $100? So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500. You know, whoever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. I'd buy about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, and placenta, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. When you regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it should go to waste. It's life for somebody else, and it's life for mankind.
Now, who do you think he thinks it means life for? He certainly is not trying to extend the life of Adabic people. Absolutely not. No. And then they lowball them $100. And she asks, is it painful? And he breezes past like, yeah, but let's just roll past that real quick. Let's not acknowledge that. Let's act as if nothing it's not a big deal. You see, this is what we have to deal with these people and the type of wickedness that they're involved in. Let's look at another clip real quick about melanin. some reason it's not. Oh, here the value. Give me 1 second.
Computer chips now because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy. Can you imagine this? It has this incredible ability to hold on to and transduce and manipulate electrons, electronic energy, and photons, photonic energy. It's a fascinating molecule. Melanin pigment, right, is so unbelievable, George. They're using it in computer chips now because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy. Can you imagine this? It has this incredible ability to hold on to and transduce and manipulate electrons, electronic energy, and photons, photonic energy. It's a fascinating molecule. Melanin pigment, right, is so unbelievable.
Crazy, right? That's crazy work that these people are using our melanin to to create things that they can use as far as different types of technologies and different things like that. So because we're at the end of the presentation, I have 2 more video clips that I want to show you, and we are out of here for this first session on the creation. I just want you to understand the magnificence of the Most High's creation and what you are. Before we get to the point of who you are, let's talk about what you are. So I'm going to put this video up on our screen. Give me 1 second. Let me get rid of this. Here we go.
They were using the consent of the warden to authorize that, and that's unlawful.
Well, the attorney representing several families expressing her frustration tonight. Thank you so much for joining us at 6. I'm Ian Wright.
And I'm Brittany Decker. The families say their loved ones who died while incarcerated in Alabama were missing organs after their autopsies. Our WVTM 13's Lisa Crane is live in Birmingham tonight. Lisa, you spoke to this attorney. These families have a lot of questions. Are they getting any answers at this point?
Well, not really. One lawsuit has already been filed, and attorney Lauren Ferrano says several more are coming. The families want answers about why their loved ones' organs were kept by either the Department of Forensic Science or the UAB, and they say they also want to stop the practice allowing it to happen. Brandon Dodson, Charles Singleton, and Kelvin Moore, all incarcerated at the time of their deaths, and all missing organs when their families received their bodies.
UAB has found this, what they think is a loophole that allows them to collect organs from this endless supply of dead bodies that are coming out of the Department of Corrections.
Attorney Lauren Ferrano says that loophole really isn't a loophole. We reached out to UAB today, who sent this statement saying, in part, "We only conduct autopsies with consent or authorization, including authorization for the final disposition of the organs and tissues." But who's giving that consent? Ferrano says it's the prison wardens, not the family.
Now, I want you to notice, look at the room here. We see an enormous amount of Adamic bodies here. But you see, these people, even when they try to act as if they're telling the truth and they have some sort of a genuine concern, they still do it in a deceptive manner. Notice how they put one image of an Adamic man and then 2 heathens up there to try to make it seem as if they're not targeting a specific group of people, when we know that the majority of people that are incarcerated are Adamic people. This is what they do, but I'm going to let it play on.
Which Ferrano says is unlawful.
The law is clear. Governor Ivey signed into law in 2021 a bill that prevents the retention of organs without family knowledge and permission. It is clear.
Ferrano says she was contacted by a UAB medical student months ago who said they were disturbed because they were seeing a disproportionate number of specimens in the lab coming from people who were incarcerated at the time of their death.
If I had to guess what the motivation is, I would say money. Isn't that usually what it is? It may be a matter of having the organs for medical research, but what does that medical research lead to? Money.
Now, we also reached out to the Department of Corrections.
And so we see they are after organs to extend it. We know that Adamic people are not the ones getting those organs. We remain on the organ list, the need for the organ waiting list for forever. Now, this is another video that talks about how unjust and wicked this nation is. One second, let me bring this one up on the screen. Again, forgive me, I'm getting used to this. This is actually my first live, so it's going to take time for me to get used to this technology and how this all works here. Here we go.
I'm Soledad O'Brien. Welcome to Matter of Fact. Nearly 100,000 women and girls go missing every year in this country, simply gone. Families and friends overwhelmed by loss. Within this tragedy is a glaring disparity. The cases of missing Black people remain unsolved 4 times longer than those of white people. Why? Experts say it's a lack of attention, slower police responses, and communities that fail to push for answers. The unsolved cases are the focus of a 4-part HBO documentary series, Black and Missing, which debuts November 23rd on HBO and HBO Max. It's a topic that's very important to me, and I'm serving as the executive producer for the series. Take a look at this clip.
My grandsons have had to go 8 years without their mama, and it just rips me to shreds. I have a fear that I may forget what my child sound like. That scares me.
You'll never forget that. Just imagine a family member going missing.
It's gonna be all right.
2 women have taken on this impossible work trying to solve the cold cases. Derica and Natalie Wilson started the foundation Black and Missing in 2008. Derica and Natalie, it's so nice to see you in person. Thank you for joining me. Why don't you start by explaining for the audience, why does this disparity exist?
We believe that this disparity exists, one, from the media, and sometimes it's an unconscious bias. And they need to do a better job in covering our missing. From what we hear from families, their stories aren't sensational. Their stories don't matter. And what we're seeing with law enforcement, who really are the ones that alert the media about a missing person, is that the stereotype surrounding these cases, they may be impoverished, and there's so many economic issues affecting that missing person. But what we need to have the community to understand, these are missing mothers and fathers. They are valuable members of our community, and we need to do a better job in finding them and protecting them.
Is it as simple as missing Black girls are just not viewed as attractive, as appealing to the audience as missing white girls?
I will say that is true. And recently we were talking to a father whose son is missing out of Syracuse, and he said a reporter pulled him to the side and said, well, you know what, your son is not going to get us ratings. And this father was heartbroken. And most of the people missing are not young white women. 40% of the population of missing people are people of color. And these cases are not taken seriously. Media coverage isn't there. And we need to do something about this disparity.
What is law enforcement not doing that they should be doing?
First and foremost, these cases are really not taken seriously. When you look at, let's say, a missing child, and you hold up a flyer that says run away, and you hold up a flyer that says missing, it doesn't send the same message. We need to get rid of the reporting structure of 24-hour waiting period, because we all know that 24 hours are the most critical moments when someone is missing. You know, we have families that come to our organization and they have provided law enforcement with an appropriate photo, and they still choose to use a mugshot to put that flyer out there. So we have a tool that's readily available for families. Once we vet their cases, they automatically get a flyer of their missing loved one that has law enforcement's contact number and our contact number, because too often these families are victimized.
Walk me through a success story.
One of them is Kennedy.
Now I'm going to stop this right here because I need to say something. Number one, this is just another way for these people to make merchandise out of us. This lady does not care one way or another what happens to our people. She does not care if anybody is missing. She does not care if they're never found. What she cares about is doing a story and getting some ratings. This nation went into the Middle East. They dug into the ground and got Osama bin Laden. They found Saddam Hussein in a whole nother region of the world, but they have no idea where 40% of the missing population, which is Adamic people, are. Could it be because they don't want to find? You're not missing. They know where you are. You may be missing to your loved ones, your family and your friends, your co-workers, maybe even your class or schoolmates, but you're not missing to them because they know exactly where you are. They know that they are taking Adamic women so that they can take those eggs. You see how money grubbing and stingy these people are. They're sitting there talking about how the eggs and the placenta and even the umbilical cord that comes from Adamic women, it can save so many lives and increase the length of so many lives, but yet the only thing they want to pay is $100. This is how cheap they are. Slavery was what it was because they did not want to pay for labor. They are lazy and they are stingy. That's what the problem is. And because they don't want to pay for organs that are marketed through the proper channels where people have donated their organs, and plus most Adamic people don't donate their organs. We are a very different species of beings. We are not typically the people that want to donate our organs because we understand just from an internal spiritual process that our body is our body. And we don't want to just lend our bodies out. Yes, science has allowed for miraculous things to take place where you can have kidney transplants and things like that. And we thank the Most High for the intelligence of those things. But on an overall basis, we like to take our organs with us. We don't know who you putting our organs in. You could be putting it in a serial killer. Most High call us back and our kidney over there and our spleen over here and our eyes over there. I know that's not what he meant when he said he was going to call us from the four corners of the earth, where all our body parts are spread all over the earth because they've been chip chopped and taken and put in this one and put in that one. No, it is not the will of the Most High for our bodies to be taken and cut out all these different parts so that these beings can extend their life and be able to do things that they are not made to be able to do. We look at hate crimes. Over 50% of all race-based hate crimes are anti-Adamic people, the highest of any group. Yet, only thing we hear about in the news and on TV is anti-Semitism, which isn't really even a thing. And we hear about, oh, there's hate crimes being perpetuated against the Christian church. There's hate crimes being these people are the chief in gaslighting. Organ exploitation. Black Americans make up 27 to 28% of transplant candidates. That's why they're stealing them from inmates. That's why they're kidnapping our people. We don't get those organs. They get them. Almost 70% of the organs go to them. And they're certainly not doing this to benefit our lives. But consistently, we receive fewer transplants. Consistently. This is not a here and there. No, there are Black people that have been waiting for decades for an organ. At the same time, our organs, eggs, and sperm are among the most coveted for strength, fertility, and longevity. Some of these people want our male's sperm and our eggs so that they can have them placed within themselves so that they can produce a child that has the qualities of an Adamic person. Look at how many of they are so quick. They love to adopt our children. They don't even like us, but they love to adopt Adamic children, hoping that they can get themselves a singer, hoping that they can get themselves an athlete, somebody with extra creativity. This is one of the reasons why they like to marry our people, even though they don't even care for our people. They are good at pretending they do, but they want to produce a child, and hopefully they can get them a Dak Prescott or something. They want to get them a Serena Williams, somebody that can make them wealthy, because that is how they see Adamic people, as their service, as their servitude, and as a way to merchandise us and capitalize off of us, even if we call them mama and papa. In 2023, Black women died at a rate of 50.3 per 100,000 live births. So we know they don't care about us as it relates to medical competence, compared to 14.5% for white women, 12.4 for Hispanic women, and 10.7 for Asian women. Everybody has a safer birth mortality than we do. We constantly, I believe it was Chicago or potentially Detroit, where they were in the news big time about how a lot of Adamic women were dying in childbirth. Some of the children were not even making it. Black women are three to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women, regardless of income or education. It doesn't matter if you're wealthy. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a judge. This thing is about lineage and ancient hatred. That's what we're dealing with here. This makes childbirth itself one of the most dangerous life stages for Black women in America. Black people are incarcerated at 5 times the rate of white people. Despite being only 14% of the US population, innocent Black individuals are 7 times more likely to be wrongly convicted of serious crimes, reflecting the harsh reality of systemic bias. How many times have we seen exonerations of our men, where they have spent 50 and 60 years, 30 years inside of a prison for something they did not do? And these people knew they didn't do it. They used their injustice system to make it seem as if everything went through a fair course, and that you were found guilty, and so now you have to be punished. And this is an attempt to wash their hands of the guilt, much like where you have Donald Trump trying to take the slavery relics out of the Smithsonian Museum. Because it's not, people think, oh, he's trying to get us in the streets. Donald Trump knows we're not going in the streets. He don't care about us going in the streets. We've been going in the streets since civil rights movement. What they are trying to do is they recognize, see, Yasharal is the biblical clock. And they recognize that things are coming to a head. And so what Donald Trump is trying to do, and this is why you hear a lot of these heathens too, that all of a sudden they want to start saying, oh yeah, Yasharal, the Black Americans are the true biblical Israelites. Oh yeah, the wish people are not the real ones. This is not something that a lot of these people didn't know already. The reason that they're saying these things is because they are trying to remove the guilt. And Donald Trump is trying to bury the evidence. They say, oh, he's trying to erase our history. You can't erase history. It already happened. You can't erase it. The only thing they're trying to do is hide and destroy the evidence, because they know that the righteous judge is soon to hit the scene. And so they want to cover up all the evil they've done. That's why it destroys their insides when you begin to tell them about themselves. They don't like to be held accountable for what they do. There's no sense of guilt. They don't have no soul to be guilty of anything. They have no repentance within them. They are of the lineage of their fathers, and there is no place for repentance found in them. So they have no guilt. They know how to play the scene. Just like we have those that what we call joiners that want to associate themselves with the other folks. And they give all the talking points that these people want to hear, and they flood money to them. See, if I was to get on here talking bad about Adamic people, and in particular Black freedmen of America, my live would be millions of people in here. And they will constantly be making donations because they love to hear negativity about our people. So just like you have our people that do this for the sake of these heathens, you have some heathens that do this for the sake of trying to mask what they really are. You cannot trust your enemy. I don't care if they come crouching. I don't care if they come innocent and sweet. Many of these people are here to set you up. The enemy orchestrates his kingdom similarly to how the Most High does. He just wicked in doing it. He has been around long enough to know how to play the game. So he could get people grinning up in your, oh, well, they're not all bad. I don't say all of them. That's the way they get you. Our righteous ancestors were separatists because they understood that these other groups are adversaries to their people. And they will come pretending to be your friend, pretending to be an ally. You can't possibly think that these people were able to conquer all these nations and establish themselves all around the world in all these different kingdoms and replace all these populations by showing up acting like villains. No, they showed up acting nice and sweet and innocent and cordial and collaborative, cooperative. And then once they grew, they learned everything that they needed to know, and they grew in number and population, they play a switcheroo. And we have to understand that. So this first lesson is just to give you the foundations of what are you made of as it relates to the physical sense, and why you are so valuable because of the components that the Most High constructed you of. That's what makes you valuable. And the authority that he gave you, that's what makes you valuable. Now, we lost a lot of the authority because of the fall, but that is being brought back to us as we repent, follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and then walk in righteousness. A lot of our physical abilities have been destroyed through an unclean diet. And we're going to go into that in the next live where we talk about the body in itself. We're going to talk about the dietary habits and how we need to take care of the temple because it is the Most High's temple. We are the place he chooses to dwell. So we're going to talk about that. And I hope that that you enjoyed this lesson. And at the bottom line, what do we get from this? We are hunted because we are holy and coveted because we are chosen. Y'all bless all of you. I thank those of you that showed up and anybody that would watch this in the replay. Your sister Shay loves you. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get this done the way that I wanted to yesterday. So that video that is up on Facebook, I'm going to take this down, take that video down and let this one be up in its place because I really had to rush through that when I wasn't feeling very well. But all praises to the Most High. I am feeling better. It's going to take time for me to get used to using this technology. I'm not new to the word of the Most High. Those of you that have had an opportunity to speak with me on the phone or in a group or anything like that, you know that I'm not new to the word, but I am new to the technology and how I can use this in a sense of ministry to get word out to our people. Your sister Shay is not a corner cutter. I don't speak politically correct. I don't care about people's feelings that are not Adamic. I love Yasharal with everything in me. I love the Most High with everything in me. And I honor and respect and love his word with everything in me. I have grace and mercy for other Adamic people. I have no regard whatsoever for any heathen lines. That is where I stand. I am not compromising as it relates to that. And so all my teachings are a fundamental of that. And I have other videos on my YouTube channel that kind of lay out a foundation of where I am and where I come from with a lot of the things that the Most High puts on my spirit and my heart to bring to you. Again, I hope that this is a blessing to you. If you do not have the study guide for this particular lesson, you can email me and I will send that out to you. And if you want to be a part of the mailing list where you will receive these before each live, you'll get these study guides 2 days before each live takes place. That way you'll already have had a chance to review some of the aberrant words, the pictographs, and meetings. You'll have an opportunity to look at some of the links that we'll go over, whether it's a video or an article, a website article, or anything of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I love you, family. Shalom.